Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome here to our junior show start. We have our showmanship this morning, followed by our market show, and it's going to be a beautiful day. We've all been talking about how we're starting to remove layers from the last few days, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun with the kids. We've got some great prizes, and we've got awesome judges. So, Susan Littlefield, it's my pleasure to bring you back up here to be our official MC today. And a huge shout out and thank you to you and KRVN. KRVN has been a part of the Classic since it started in 1991. And Susan, you've been a part of all of our events. You're kind of our official voice here at the ring. So, our honor to have you here with us.
Well, thank you so much, Ronette. And of course, very happy to see the weather warming up, some beautiful weather. Actually, heard a conversation, Ronette, with a cattleman as I came in the door. He said, Susan, do you think it's going to be a car wash alert day? And I said, absolutely, which is a good thing to see. We're going to kick everything off, of course, with our showmanship this morning in our North Ring. We're going to start with our seniors, and our showmanship for the South Ring will be our intermediate. A breakdown, the seniors are 16 to 21 and the intermediates are 12 to 15.
In our North Ring, very honored to have joining us today is Kylie Patterson. She's serving as our official judge for the senior showmanship juniors. She is our market show judge today. Kylie is a native of San Antonio. She grew up showing cattle very competitively and was on an integral part of their livestock judging teams at Blinn College, Oklahoma State University. She highlighted her judging career by being the first woman in the history of the century-old event to win a high individual at the national contest in Louisville. And, Susan, we're kind of a girl team here, so I'm pretty honored and excited to have such a talented young lady going to spend her day with us. We're going to learn a little more about her throughout the day. So, a huge welcome to Kylie Patterson, and we're going to enjoy working with you all day. In the South Ring is a young lady that's no stranger to the cattle industry. She grew up in South Dakota. Her and her family have Herefords and Charolais cattle there. Very involved in 4-H FFA. Had the honor of watching the final Supreme Drive of the Cheyenne show, and her dad were Supreme judges there. Cagney began her judging at Northeast Oklahoma and A&M College before transferring to K-State, where she was a member of the national champion livestock judging team and earned All-American honors. Her and her husband now live in Kansas. She's married to Hadley Schott. They're very much so an integral part of their family operation and travel all across the state. Very honored to have Miss Cagney here. She's working our showmanship in the South Ring, and we'll learn a little bit more about her throughout the day and her livestock background. So, as you can tell, Susan, we've got two very talented young ladies that are working our showmanship today.
Starting out to be a great day. Sit back, enjoy, and of course, cheer on these youth as they continue throughout today and tomorrow.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be out here, and I'm awfully excited to get to sort through the market show later. But what a way to start off our senior showman here. We're going to end up keeping the four young ladies to my right. I think to me, they probably just came in a bit smoother, a bit more consistent, and set the tone for the type of showman that we're going to be looking for the rest of the morning. But hats off to you guys. You did an awesome job. Just a really rock solid group in this first heat. So let's go ahead and give them a big round of applause on a job well done.
In the North Ring, coming back out of Class 1 for showmanship will be Casey Meyer, Kinley Uckhoff, Sarah Mead, and Tatum Schroeder. Class 2 of 6 is in the ring for our seniors.
Well, what an awesome way to get started over here on our intermediate side. Excuse me. Showmanship is without a doubt my favorite part of coming to a show. It certainly gives the kids a chance to come out and show the work that they've put in. Now, at jackpot shows, it certainly gets a little bit trickier. Calves are a little bit green or broke, and so I do. I was talking to one of the girls out here and giving her some props because I do think it's important to remain calm when you're in those situations where your partner's not necessarily wanting to be a team player. So, I guess as we go throughout the day, for me, intensity is a really big thing as you get out in here. Showmanship, like I said, is my favorite thing. And to me, intensity and eye contact is a really big thing. So, we're going to go ahead and keep these two showmen up on the rail. But let's go ahead and give our first heat of intermediates a big round of applause.
As we're working through our second heat of seniors over here, just a fair warning to everybody in the back. We're going to roll through these heats of the seniors in a relatively quick fashion because I'm a big first impressions girl. And I think, whether you're at a jackpot or you're showing at a state fair or even a national show, it's paramount that from the moment you hit the gate, that judge knows you mean business and you're able to handle your business in just a really efficient manner. And so I guess to me, the young people to my left kind of combine that level of smoothness and intensity with the right efficiency in terms of getting their cattle parked and getting it set up and knowing when it's time to turn your game face on. Again, I cannot harp on you guys enough, though. This heat was strong all the way through. And I think when we get to this level of competition, it's maybe not necessarily what you do wrong. It just might be what the people to your left might have done just to tick better. And so keep honing in your craft because I think all of you guys certainly have the parts and pieces and all of your animals look the part right now. Maybe we didn't get there as quickly. Maybe we're just a bit more mechanical and not as smooth in terms of our transitions and the way we maneuver around the ring. But man, an awesome second heat. Let's go ahead and give these seniors a big hand.
So in the South Ring, in our Class 1 intermediates, coming back will include Graydon Forbes and Riley Codner. In the ring now, you see Class 2 for our intermediate. Over on the North Ring, coming in for our seniors, coming back will be Kane Deltador, Cole Bruce, and Logan Barda. We're in Class 3 now. We'll be coming in the ring here shortly for our seniors.
Very honored and excited to have lots of families here from all across the state of Nebraska for the junior show. And we're going to have a fun day, guys. And make sure you enjoy all the vendors that are here. I know they're just getting opened up this morning. So make sure there's lots of boutiques in the front concourse, several over here on the north side of the ring by Sullivan's Final Drive. We got Cactus Jack's here all day. Cunningham's has the Cowboy Bar Cafe open. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day while you're here. And we're going to enjoy working with your youth. And as I mentioned before, we've got two awesome young ladies that will be working with the youth here this morning in our showmanship.
As Class 2 is finishing up here in the South Ring, coming back for that final drive for our intermediate showmen will be Reese Locke, Keisha Albert, and Carly Coulterman.
Another very talented heat of seniors that we have in this ring. And I tell you, I'm one that, I want everything to be efficient when we're working a show and we have our cattle and we're setting things up. I'm a big fan of just if it's about 90%, leaving it and calling it good as opposed to being picky on cattle. But I think we get out here, right? And we can't always expect our dance partner to maybe cooperate with us the best. I think this young lady did an absolutely great job just working with what she had. Her heifers kind of feeling her Wheaties this morning, but she never lost her composure. And I think that ability to just stay calm, cool, and collected to me when your calf's a bit rowdy certainly deserves a pull. So I'm excited to see her as well as her two contemporaries back in our semifinal heat here in a minute. But again, just an extremely strong group. Maybe we're not as poised, and the way we hold our show stick comes down to some personal preference things whenever things get really close. Maybe we don't maintain our spot in line the best. Maybe we're circling just a bit too excessively. Like I said, just a talented group, and it stinks from my perspective to have to be split in hairs because I certainly would be proud to have any of these exhibitors exhibit some of our cattle. But a great job. Let's go ahead and give them a big round of applause.
Well, another awesome group over here on the intermediate side. I was just telling somebody last night, it's actually so much fun for me to come out into this division specifically because you get kids that are coming up out of that really salty beginner division. You got kids that are just about to go into the seniors. And so I do think that this is arguably the toughest division as we get back out here. And I think we see that as these heats continue to come back out here. I think Kylie said it in the heat before. Sometimes it's just personal preference, and it's really hard to put those things into words. Like she said, not necessarily what you do wrong, but in comparison to the people standing next to you. And so that's a tricky part about showmanship. But another really great group of kids, the ones along the rail, are going to be coming back. Let's give this heat a big round of applause.
Results of Class 3 senior showmanship in the North Ring. Coming back for that final drive will be Addie Kraus, Justine Pope, and Jaylene Wolfinger. In the ring now is Class 4 of 6 for our senior showman. So I stand corrected, Jeremy. Thank you very much. We're going to do semis right now from our first three classes.
Boy, just I can't say how good the first three heats of seniors were, and my hats off to you all. I thought it was splitting hairs between the choice for fifth, so I went ahead and kept fifth and sixth. Going to give them an option to go ahead and come back for the finals, but an outstanding job. I think some minor things that probably kept these guys from making it. You know, it takes two to tango at the end of the day, and if your dance partner is just not one to dance with you, it's awfully hard to get the job done. But I sure appreciate the lady up front's tenacity. I think for me, the young lady directly behind her does an outstanding job getting her heifer parked. I don't know if she's just as smooth or as good in terms of the way she maneuvers around the ring. That kind of became your downfall. I personally, too, would probably like to see that heifer loin just a little bit from just a judge's perspective. And I think that needs to carry over to showmanship. Young man right here, you do an awfully good job. You're just a bit quick sometimes for me in terms of your movements. That kind of became your demise. But boy, you make your burly steer look awfully good out here. Young lady, you do an awfully nice job as well. I think the way, though, that you probably hold your halter to me just doesn't seem as natural as a couple of the others. But boy, just your consistency and your ability to just go ahead and work with your heifer and the partnership you developed has certainly shown through. An outstanding group. Looking forward to seeing these guys later on this morning. But let's give these kiddos a big hand. It certainly was a big feat in my mind to make it to this stage.
Well, another awesome group of intermediates that we have on this side. I went through and told each one of them this is by far and away the toughest group that we've had out here thus far. And so it really does just get down to the nitpicky things as we talk about, some cooperation with your partner. I think we've got a couple of them that are wishing that they were had some better luck this morning as far as that goes. One thing I do want to touch on here in this heat is some spacing in lines. Make sure you guys are giving yourself enough time, even as you're walking. So that way, if you've got one that's wanting to go a little bit quicker this morning, you've got some space in front of you so you're not jamming into the person behind you. Two, as far as our lines, you need to make sure we're keeping good and straight over on this rail. And then, two, as you guys are facing the center of the ring, make sure you guys stay pretty tight in line there. So, another awesome group. Let's give them a big round of applause.
In the intermediate, class number 3 coming back, Landon Linneman, Luke Katz, and Paige Wolohowski. Class 4 will be entering the ring in just a moment for our intermediates. After that, we will make our semi selections. Now, over in the north ring, where our seniors are, entering the ring now will be your class 4 of 6. Coming back for the final drive, though, will be Casey Meyer, Tatum Schroeder, Cole Bruce, Logan Barta, Addie Kraus, and Jalen Wolfinger.
Get into our next heat, and probably one of the tougher ones for me to go ahead and decipher because I think fundamentally speaking, just in terms of getting their cattle set up and looking the part, man, young man, you do an awesome job. I think for me, maybe where you get lost in the sauce in comparison to some of the girls that got, ended up making the cut is I just don't know if you have the same intensity to you, which sounds so silly. And what makes me just as a judge not always love judging showmanship, even though it was my favorite thing. I wanted to give a hats off to this young man though, because maybe he didn't start off as strong, but man, right here at the end, you were making me really wanting to pull you. Ended up trusting my gut, not going there, but you have really turned it up here towards the end. I think these young ladies for me probably just weren't as consistent in terms of foot placement or maintaining their spot in line. And when we get to these older age divisions, just feel like that's a deciding factor and something you got to do and got to fundamentally have down. But a very good job to these kiddos. Excited to see these three back out here shortly. Let's give them a big hand.
Set to return for the next round of semis out of Class 4 will be Bailey Grant, Addison Grant, and Catherine Neighbor. We have two classes left, Class 5 and 6. Then we'll have another round of intermediate and then bring them all back. Excuse me, another round of seniors, and then we'll bring them all back that have been selected in those final drives for the selection of your champion senior showman. Currently on class number 4 on the intermediate side. After this class, their semis will take place. Coming back out of class 4 here momentarily for the semis will be Easton Bowes, McKinley Stoller, and Tinley Luby.
Well, another good group of kids out here in this intermediate division. I guess for me, this group maybe didn't have quite the punch when they came in the ring, so it took a little bit longer to go through and evaluate these kids and see how they were going to go on throughout the heat. Really happy, though, with the three young kids that we've got coming back. Let's give this heat of intermediates a nice round of applause.
We'll get into our next heat, and certainly three individuals in my mind that rose to the top. I was a bit slower to pull the last young lady, just for the fact that I think it's really important that we try to maintain our spot in the line as a judge. If your calf is totally angled with its shoulder in, sometimes it makes it just a bit harder to evaluate. She went ahead and corrected things, so I certainly thought it was warranted to a pull. Just a heads up, though, when we keep bringing more showmanship classes in, there's not anything that I don't like more than just excessive circling. To me, it just ruins the efficiency of the show. It makes things take a little bit longer, and it's really hard to evaluate your animals. By all means, I know that you sometimes have to do it, but I think as exhibitors, it's an awfully bad habit for a lot of us to just rely on a crutch to constantly circle. Leave more space in front of you so you can just take half steps if things aren't right and your calf's not set up correctly. But a great job all the way through. Let's go ahead and give these exhibitors a big hand.
Here's the results out of Class 5 for our senior showmanship. Coming back will be Claire Crystal, Camille Carr, and JC Stutzman. Again, we will have one more class of our senior showmen and then semis after that.
Just to kind of recap our schedule for today, we'll start our market show at noon. We will not start before noon. If we run longer with our showmanship, we will announce what time the market will start, but the market show will not start before noon. Another important part of the classic team and crew here today is Mally, the official photographer here at the NCC. So make sure you're going to the picture backdrop, visit with the great team, and very honored to have them here at the classic. These young ladies travel all across the nation working for other photographers, and the NCC's decided we were going to hire them directly. Their crew in the ring is Emily Zimmer from Pleasanton, Dylan Day of Loop City, Peyton Schmidt of St. Paul. They all run their own individual photography companies, and we are very honored to have them here today. And these young ladies are excited to work with the juniors. You'll see them smiling. So make sure and get your pictures taken. You can find the photos on their website. If you go over to their booth, they've got a great little QR code over there. You can scan it. They've got packages. So make sure and talk to Maria over there. And thanks for being here, girls.
bigger class of them over here to conclude our senior heats. But I certainly think these three, from the moment they hit the gate, just had that level of intensity and competitive edge that just rose them to the forefront pretty automatically. All of you guys, I certainly think, fundamentally speaking, you've done a good job in terms of maneuvering around the ring and getting foot placement pretty close to right. I think as you go on, maybe watch some of the kiddos that come back for a senior heat, because I think some basics maybe of moving up when the cattle in front of you get pulled, maybe not turning your calf properly when you're making a circle, turning him against you as opposed to across his nose, or maybe just being a bit stretched out. So those would be my pet peeves. I think that we might need to sharpen up in order to make it to our next semifinals or finals later on down the road. But I certainly am excited to see these three back in our semifinal heat. But let's give these kiddos a big hand.
Well, this is really tough over here on our intermediate side for our first semifinal out here. They told me that in the end we have to end up with 10, and so it only felt right to go ahead and bring back five. But it was pretty tough for me. I'm sure you could tell to get to those five out here. I think that there's some things that are really, really close that makes it tough for me. One thing I do want to touch on, because it's a reason that a few of you won't end up getting pulled out here for me, is posture. I talked to a few other kids about that, and I know that sounds a bit odd, but for me, I don't like anybody going and leaning really hard. I don't like shoulders being up to your ears. I just think that that's very unnatural. And so to me, just a really square, relaxed stance, just as smooth and relaxed as possible, make it look natural. I think that's really big for me. Like I said, I just wanted to touch on that because there's a few that aren't coming back because of that reason. But a really awesome, salty group of intermediates. Let's give them a big hand.
Coming back for the semis on our senior side right now is Josie Johnson, Bianca Wood, and Nathan Grease. In your semis on the intermediate just selected include Luke Katz, Carly Coulterman, Easton Bowes, Tinley Luby, and Landon Linneman. We're bringing in now class number 5 of our intermediate showman.
We get into our final semifinals here in the senior division, and I'm not only going to keep 4. I kept 6 in the first semifinals. I thought the standard that was in that group was so tough and so competitive. And to be honest, I thought the break for 4 got a bit tough. I think something to remember, exhibitors, is whether we're getting down close to final decisions and cutting time here in showmanship, or whether there's a decision between first or second in your class. Going ahead and nitpicking feed or scratching really hard or constantly messing with your animal never ends up being a good thing, right? And so I think here towards the end, we had a lot of exhibitors that just got awfully picky, started circling, started picking at feet. And to me, that just will always end up playing for your demise. At the end of the day, got to remain confident, got to remain cool, got to remain calm, got to remain collected, because that animal is going to parallel through your energy. And so something to keep in mind. To me, that's where things got a bit tight. I could tell you guys are nervous, and I love it because that means you want it. But at the end of the day, learning how to channel that, I certainly think is a life lesson that you learn in the ring as well. So my hat's off to all of you guys. You guys are outstanding. Let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
Over here on our senior show ring, if I can get Tyler Bennett's family to join us here in front of the table. I know his mom, his sister, dad's here, brother in law. Shayla, bring your family out.
Well, here's coming back for our finals here with our seniors out of our second semis Josie Johnson, Addison Grant, Claire Crystal, and Bailey Grant.
The senior showmanship here at the Classic is in memory of Tyler Bennett. And those of you that don't remember, Tyler Bennett was killed in a very tragic car accident back in 2011. And to kind of recap that, he was a young man that was extremely passionate about Angus cattle. He was extremely passionate about showmanship. And I had the honor of knowing him, seeing him at several national shows, State Fair, Exarban. He was always in the final drive. He won the champion title several times, and he was a young man that stayed very calm, cool, collected. He was actually a freshman at Hutchinson Community College, and he was on the livestock judging team there. And when my family and I traveled to his funeral, and when you go to a young man's funeral, that there are collegiate judging team coaches from all across the nation, livestock show managers from all across the nation, industry leaders, businessmen, and Angus breeders, that tells you the impact that Tyler made in a very short period of time. And it was only fitting. The Classic is extremely honored every year. We recognize him at our livestock judging contest. Their family is presenting awards there, as well as they're investing in our senior showmanship. And very honored to have with us today his mom, his dad, his sister, brother in law, his niece and nephew. And they're continuing to carry on his legacy and make sure that we know the importance of these programs and the importance and the value of showmanship, because a good showman, you can make a difference on a lot of different cattle when you're showing them, and your presence in the ring and staying calm, cool, and collected. And so very honored to work with Tyler's family, and they'll be presenting their awards at the backdrop, as well as there's a traveling trophy, and the senior showman's name will be added to the traveling trophy. So ringside, let's put our hands together and thank the Bennett family.
Well, another good group out here after our first semifinal that we have. Seems like that we've got a few more attitudes as far as our cattle out here this go around. And so, again, I commend our showmen for going ahead and dealing with that. It's never fun. Certainly, I just told the young man on the end, I commend him for staying calm as his heifer is kind of battling him a little bit here because, like you said, if you stay calm, then your calf is going to remain calm with you. And so I do think that that's a big thing. Kudos to him. We're just going to go ahead and pull two out of this heat. Let's give these kids a big round of applause.
In our intermediate class 5 coming back will include Megan Lawson and Jaden Thompson. In the ring now is class 6. And there's a total of 9, by the way, of our intermediate showmen.
Again, I want to recognize our judge in the North Ring is Kylie Patterson. She's a native of San Antonio. She grew up showing cattle extremely competitive. She is an integral part of both highly successful livestock judging teams at Blinn College, Oklahoma State University. She actually highlighted her career for being the first woman in the history of the national judging contest in Louisville, and she was to win. She actually did both junior and senior college at OSU. She was the record breaking national champion team in 2019. Kylie has actually judged in 38 different states, including Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Thailand. And I tell you what, we're very honored to add Nebraska to her list. So let's put our hands, guys. Let's give her a big welcome to the state of Nebraska.
Well, this is a fun heat for me over on this intermediate side. I'm sure you noticed that I pulled the two showmen as quick as I've pulled anything out here. I'll be right honest with you. I haven't had two showmen out here yet hit me quite as hard as they did. And so I'm not going to go on any more than that. Two really good showmen that we're pulling back out of here. Another really solid heat. Just need to be a little bit quicker to pull up in line or get set up. Good group of kids. Let's give them a round of applause.
And congratulations out of Class 6 and our intermediates coming back for the next semis will be Josie Wilson and Hadley Dunclow. Moving in now, shortly will be class number 7 of our intermediate showman. Continuing here in the North Ring is your champion selection for our senior showman. Congratulations out of Class 7 and our intermediate coming back. Addison Dalrymple, Carson Brooks, and Lauren Johnson.
Well, boy, it's been an absolute pleasure to sort through your senior showman. And I'll be honest with you, I thought all the way through the ability for each kid that walked into the ring to know what they were doing, to have the fundamentals down of just how to maneuver around the ring, set their calf up. I've been fortunate to judge a lot of places, and that doesn't always happen. And so I'm just very impressed. We get to the semifinals. Man, they were awfully good, but we cut it down to these top 10. And I think the ante is certainly up there and these top four. I think it's splitting hairs. You know, it's funny stepping foot in the ring as a judge, right? Because showmanship was bar none my favorite thing to do as a kid. You know, couldn't always afford the fastest car, but if you had a good driver, you could perform well in showmanship. And so it was something that my sister and I tried to be as competitive as possible. And you flip the script now as a judge, and dang, it's really easy to tell you where I think your animal might need to be better. It's easier for me to beat your animal, but beating kids, man, that are just so competitive, just so intense, and want it this bad is awfully tough. And so it's splitting hairs. We get down to when they're this good. It gets awfully, awfully tough. You know, I think it's important that when we get into this final realm, I always like to ask some thought provoking or questions to the kids because I think it's important that we're not just making showmen who can take an animal in the ring and it's so automatic it just sets up for you. I think it's important that we have future stockmen that are being built. You know, I didn't have the privilege to know Tyler, but hearing his story, hearing everything that everybody has to say, it sounded like he was not only the epitome of an outstanding young man and a fantastic showman, but certainly a true stockman. And so absolute honor. My hat's off to all of these young ladies. My man Balin here is going to show you the way we like them. But before I do so, let's give him just a big round of applause.
We'll go ahead and talk this heat quick before they make that announcement over there. Another really good group of intermediate showmen that we have out here. Again, it comes down to some nitpicky things as we talk about staying in line. I mentioned that another one and keeping our lines nice and straight and square. Those things are really important to me. I want to talk about the young man with the red heifer real quick because I think his heifer is so kind of relaxed and cool and calm out here. You almost miss him, but he does such a solid job. That's why he went ahead and got pulled. Another good group of kids. Let's give them a big hand.
Before we get the placings, just a quick reminder to our top 10. We need you to take your sticks alone. Take your sticks and head to the backdrop. Your banners will be waiting for you at the backdrop for photos with the judge. So if you can pass off your animals to somebody and just take your show sticks and yourself to the backdrop, you'll get your banners there and make sure you smile big for those photos. And we'll be back here with the results of the placings of your senior showman, and then don't stick around or make sure you stick around because you're not going to want to miss junior showmanship coming up next in the North Ring. Congratulations, your champion senior showman went to Addie Krause. Your reserve champion to Claire Crystal. Third is to Casey Meyer. Fourth, Josie Johnson. Fifth is to Addison Grant. Sixth to Logan Barda. Seventh to Jalen Wolfinger. Eighth to Cole Bruce. Ninth to Tatum Schroeder. And 10th is Bailey Grant. After photos are done and they are all done smiling over there, we'll head back and we'll get underway for our junior showmanship here in the North Ring. Junior showmen are ages 8 to 11. And the results of Class 8 of our intermediate showmen, Dayton Dorn and Paisley Homestead. We have one more class of intermediate, then the selection of your semis before we go into that championship drive.
Well, another good group of kids out here in our intermediate division. One thing I've been wanting to touch on as we've come out here is I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you from heat to heat. It's going to be the same every time. We're going to come in the ring side by side. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the heats in front of you so that you know every time that's where you're headed. Like I said, I'm not going to try and trick you or anything. Just know every time that's what we're doing. I talked to a few of these kids out here. We've got as many cable halters out here as we've seen. And, I think there's a love hate relationship with them. For me, it's hard for these kids to get their hand close to their head to get that head up. It makes it tough for them. And that's really big for me as we're painting that picture from the side. So I told those kids they're doing a good job of working through that. Another good group. Let's give them a big round of applause.
your opinion on this?
Well, welcome back on the north side of the ring. We're going to start our junior showmanship division on the north side.
We get into our first group of juniors and a very solid way to kick things off. You know, to me, again, a big first impressions girl. And I thought the moment that these three exhibitors stepped foot in the ring, they just had an aura of, I want to be here and I want to make it through all the way to the finals and win. And I think just that competitive spirit that I was able to sense and that intensity to me just throws them to the top. You know, I told the young man, take a deep breath, and he was able to get her stopped and set up. And I know when we bring him back out here later, he's definitely going to knock my socks off. You know, we get down to these kiddos, and I certainly think they've got the right kind of gist of things. You know, I think the young man up there, you had a tough spot being the line leader, and maybe forgot kind of the pattern a little bit. That's okay, though. That's not why I knocked you. I think we just got to work on our foot placement a bit better in order to make the cut for me. Young lady with the roan calf, I love just your poise. You seem like a very confident young person. We need to do a better job of staying in our spot in line and probably getting our calf's head up. You were really close for a pull for me. I think one too many times you either covered up by somebody else or covering somebody else up. And so I think our spacing in line, mentally preparing that we need to leave enough, would definitely be an asset for you going forward. And man, you do an awesome job, but you're smacking on gum out here. So we got to make sure we leave that back there in the barn and don't come in with gum. But an awesome group of kiddos. Let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
In our first class of juniors in Class 7, coming back will be LJ Wells, Madison Linneman, and Briggs Krause. We'll be bringing Class 8 in here momentarily.
Well, what a fun way to end out our intermediate division over here on the South Ring. Another really good group that we have of here out of showmen, a really big group of showmen that we have out here. So it took a little bit longer to go ahead and work through them. In the end, it was these two individuals that are going to come back for your next semifinal. Let's give these kids a big round of applause as we end out this intermediate division.
And congratulations, representing Class 9 on the intermediates will be Raylan Stutzman and Brinley Elbert. We'll be bringing back some of those kids, make our selection now of our semis before we go into that champion intermediate drive. And you're not going to want to miss because Ronette, the Pee Wee Showman, will be coming up after our champion drive here in the South Ring for our intermediates.
It is. And you know what, Susan? I walked over a minute ago and was running an errand. And I tell you what, there was a little guy grabbed me and he said, I can't wait for my turn.
Oh, I love it.
It's all about building the next generation, and these showmanship skills are so important for these kids to take the time to learn and learn about the ring and being calm, cool, and collected. And again, very honored to have with us these two very talented young ladies that are working with your youth today in our showmanship. Lots of things to enjoy this afternoon here at the Classic. We got a fun day lined up. There is an awesome trade show here. So make sure stop by and visit with all the different vendors and talk to them about their different products and tell them thanks for being here.
we get out here to our next group of juniors and four awfully good showmen over here. But hey, these two young people really stepped it up towards the end of the class. I told the young lady if she would have started like this, it'd have been a different story. We might have kept the whole class. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, as a judge, we got to sit back. We got to make some decisions. And I thought there was just a bit more consistency, just a bit more confidence, just a bit more poise and better posture. And these four young people went and kind of told them some things that maybe they could work on at home or do a bit differently. I'm not a big fan of kids just having their elbow rested on their body. I think it makes their posture look a bit awkward. I don't think it makes it look natural. I know when you're a little kid, it's hard to get the animal's head up, but I think having that extra just space in between your arm and your elbow, not locking your elbow, just makes the whole look so much better. Just take a step out of your animal. Let me see you. I think it just has just an aura of confidence as well. But some nitpicky things, a very good group of kiddos. Excited to see these four back here soon. But let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
Representing Class 8 of our junior showmen will be Olivia Ostran, Chesney Prince, Brooke Hansen, and Brantley Went. If you look over on the south ring, it is our semis for our intermediate showmen. This is our second semi class.
we get out here in our next group of juniors, and I'm going to go ahead and keep the two young ladies right here. To me, I think they just set the bar in terms of poise, posture, and intensity. I think fundamentally speaking, we could probably polish up a few things in this group, like making sure, when we're in line on profile, that we're not being covered up by a different calf too far out of line, making sure we go ahead and move up, because young lady up here, you were dang close to making the cut for me. Just got to have that automatic move up whenever the calf in front of you gets pulled. But an awfully, awfully good group. And I can't just say enough about how talented you guys' kiddos are. So let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the next part of this showmanship competition and getting these kids back out here to select our top 10. I think it's going to be really fun as we get them all out here together. I just wanted to touch on the cattle and how they're acting out here. There's some of them that are really not wanting to cooperate out here, and I think the kids are doing a really good job of handling it. At the end of the day, I don't typically like to judge the kids on how their animal is acting. I like to judge them on how they're handling how that animal is acting. I think that that's a really big thing. And it goes more than just remaining calm. It goes into knowing when you need to circle them and knowing when to stop and just let them relax for a minute and go from there. And so I think that these kids over here, I'm not sure one of them has a heifer. Maybe one of them has one that's been working just perfectly for them. And so I think that they do the best job of working with their partner out here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's give these kids a big round of applause.
Coming back in class 9 on our junior showman in the North Ring will be Kaylee Kugo and Briley Mickey. We're getting ready for class 10 of our junior showman here in the North Ring. And over on the south side, getting ready for our champion selection of our intermediate showman. Coming back in the semis in our semifinal 2, Brinley Albers. What is Addison's? Can't read what she wrote there. Darwipple? Okay. Addison Darwipple, Hadley Dunclow, Josie Wilson, and Raylan Stutzman.
Well, on the south side of the ring here, gather round. We've got our final drive on our intermediate showmanship. And again, I want to recognize and thank Cagney Shoddy that grew up in Highmore, South Dakota, for taking the time to be at the Classic today. I've had the honor of watching this young lady grow up, showing cattle all over 4 H, FFA, state fairs, national shows. She is extremely passionate about livestock judging. She actually began her collegiate journey at Northeast Oklahoma A&M College before transferring to K-State, where she was a member of the national champion livestock judging team and she earned All-American honors. She now resides in Herkmeyer, Kansas with her husband Hadley. They play a very active role in his family's commercial cattle row crop operation. She and Hadley frequently return to South Dakota to assist with her family operation, CK Cattle, where they raise purebred Simmental, Charolais, and Herefords. Cagney currently serves as the Communication and Web Development Manager for Beef Logic. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting the beef industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you're ringside, let's put our hands together and thank her for spending her day here at the Classic. I told Cagney a few minutes ago that I'd actually called her husband because I knew I was going to butcher their last name. And I have the honor of working with her husband throughout the year. And she'll always be Cagney Effling to me. So I'm going to try and get shoddy correct for you today, Cagney. The top three showmen in classes have been receiving products from Sullivan and Final Drive. We appreciate all their support here at the Classic. Banners, as well as the showmen, will receive a $100 cash prize and a $50 cash prize in each age division. Plus, their banners they'll receive at the backdrop. We'll remind you, intermediate showmen, following your selection, you'll take your show sticks, the top 10, you'll go to the backdrop. Cagney will join you at the backdrop and get your photos taken there. Again, thank you to Mally, Livestock Images, Mariah Cup, and her phenomenal team of young ladies that are here today. And again, a shout out to them. They all have their own photography business. You recognize several of them. They travel all across the nation at national shows with other photographer crews. And we're excited just to hire these Nebraska girls directly. You've got Emily Zimmer of Pleasanton, Delynn Day of Loop City, and Peyton Schmidt assisting in the rings from St. Paul. So make sure and make your way over to the backdrop, see Maria there, and find out where you can find all the photos.
We get out here in our next group of juniors, and just a bit more challenging for me to piece together. I would challenge all of you guys in this group to maybe go find some of those top 10 senior showmen, watch them throughout the show, because I certainly think if you can mimic some of their behaviors, see when they automatically move up, see, just the way they conduct themselves around the ring, I certainly think it would challenge your own thinking to maybe sharpen your skills. Fundamentally speaking, I think we just need to work on some foot placement, some maintaining our spots in line, and just a bit more on our posture. Man, this young lady has really turned it up towards the end here. I just have a standard I've kind of set in my mind, and I wish I would have seen it in the very beginning because lights out job towards the end. Let's start a bit hotter next time. But excellent job to these kiddos. Let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
And coming back for that final drive in our juniors will be Cole Brooks and Reese Porter. Momentarily, Class 11 of 15 will be coming in the ring in our North Arena. Class 11 of Junior Showman.
Well, this is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and give our champion drive for our intermediate showman a big round of applause. I mentioned earlier in the day that showmanship was far and away my favorite thing to do. Whether we were going to a jackpot, a junior national, or a national show, I thought it was always the thing that I was in control of, and so I have probably a little bit of a problem with that, and like to be in control of things, and so showmanship was always what I enjoyed the most. I had a lot of fun. Ronette had mentioned that my family traveled across the country showing and certainly had a lot of fun doing that with them. My sisters and I got two younger sisters, and if you want to become competitive, have two younger sisters. We always made a lot of fun out of saying who is the best showman, and so we'll just go ahead and say that that's unanswered up until now. Like I said, showmanship to me is this really neat thing because it really doesn't matter the quality of the animal that you've got out here. It matters what you've done with them. And I think that that's really neat. And then I guess on the flip side of that, as we were going to all these shows and whatnot, we were proud of the job that we had done getting them ready at home. We were proud of the crew that we had back getting them ready. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what they look like if you can't get them shown. And I think that that is really, really important as we come out here. Again, just an awesome, stellar group of kids that we have out here. The kids I went ahead and pulled, we worked from 10 up to, I guess, 6 over here. These are your top 5 showmen that we have along the rail. I'll go out and I'll start with 5th and shake your hand on up to your champion. But let's one more time give these kids a big round of applause.
As these kids are exiting the ring, a very good group. I challenged two young boys who really were heating up towards the end to just go ahead, set their calf up. I'd be back to come and look. And I thought last minute they were both certainly deserving to make the cut. But the rest of the kiddos that maybe didn't find their way to the final or semifinals, I think we could work on just a bit more posture. Again, fundamentally speaking, just having that calmness, being able to scratch your calf without maybe sawing it in half, a little bit of foot placement stuff, but a great group.
Coming back for class 11 of our junior showman in the North Ring, Kenzo Carlson, Corbin Kunk, Ethan Benish, and Grady Luby. Entering the ring now will be class number 12 of your junior showman.
Congratulations to our intermediate showman. Top 10, take your show sticks, come to the backdrop. You'll get your banner. We'll let Cagney go over to the backdrop and get in the photo with the top 10 intermediate showmen.
And congratulations, your champion intermediate showman went to Luke Katz. Hattie Dunklau was your reserve. Tinley Luby at third. Brinley Albers fourth. Josley Wilson fifth. Addison Darwimple at sixth. Carly Colterman seventh. Easton Bowes at eighth. Ninth goes to Raylan Stutzman and 10th to Landon Linneman. Photos are being taken right now. When they make their way back, we're going to see our Pee Wee showmanship hit the show ring.
We get over here in our next heat of juniors, and I think it gets awfully close between a couple of these. I think they're right on the bubble. Maybe again, came in just a little nervous and really heated up towards the end. I think we have a couple again that just basic fundamentals of showmanship probably need to be a bit quicker or better in terms of our foot placement. Probably need to just have more ring awareness and recognition on when to move up. Man, I wanted to pull you down here, young lady with the Hereford. I was just waiting this whole time for you to kind of pull her up and reset her. We just never got to that point, but I think you do an awful lot of things right, and certainly can make it there in a pretty quick hurry. But I think fundamentally speaking, that's kind of where it crossed the line. But a great group of kiddos. Let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
We have your results now of Class 12 of your junior showman. Blakely Katz, Claire Cromie, and Jace Ritter coming back for that final drive. In the ring now is class number 13. Underway now in the South Ring is going to be your Pee Wee Showmanship. This is class number 10.
We get into our next group of juniors, and we're going to keep these three young people to my right. Again, I think it starts from the moment they walk in, and to me, they just resonated with the right kind of confidence, intensity that we're looking for. I think these young kiddos are doing a good job, and I think the best thing you can do for young showmen is to come out, throw them in showmanship, and get some more ring time. I just challenge all of you guys to maybe watch some of the bigger kids, get some pointers, because again, fundamentally speaking, I think we're just a bit off kilter, but an awesome group. And my hats off to all of you guys and parents for making them come out here and making them to participate in this event, because I certainly think that's how you get better. And this is where it all starts. So congratulations to these kiddos. Let's give them a big hand.
Coming back from class 13 in the North Ring of our junior showmen will be Grayson Arbuck, Knox Schmidt, and Brecken Wendt. We have two more classes of juniors, and then we'll do our final drive for them. Class 14 set to come in the ring. There should be 8 entries. And again, on the South Ring underway is our first class of Pee Wee Showman.
Bar none, the toughest heat we've had so far. I certainly think these four young people have upped the ante and done an awesome job. Do not want you two gentlemen to feel bad though, because I certainly think you guys would have made the cut probably in a couple of these other heats. At some point I got to close the gate and I got to say enough is enough. And I think to me, these guys probably just hit closer to my standard that I'm certainly looking for. But keep it up. Again, I think it comes down to some fundamentals and efficiency in terms of the way we do our work. Got to make sure we're straight in line. Got to make sure our foot placement is right. But an awesome group of kiddos. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Well, it's always fun to get this Pee Wee division out here. Fun to see these kids out here in the early stages of their showing career and working hard with these animals that are much larger than they are. Fun to talk with them and see what names they've got and see how good of buddies they've got. And so it's been fun out here. Two little guys over here and little girl with Herefords are going to be coming back, and then the young man with Malibu is going to come back too. So let's give these kids a really big round of applause for the good job they did.
Let's jump in the North Ring first, coming back out of Class 14 for that final drive. Rylan Linneman, Shaylee Hartman, Jude Gall, and Blaine Dunklow. Now over in the South Ring, our first group of Pee-wees that'll be coming back for that final drive. Makeda Albert, Cadence Killo, and Dawson Harvey. Entering the ring now in the South side is our Pee Wee Showmanship Class 11. And on the North side, it is our Junior Showmanship Class 15. This is your final class of Junior Showman.
We get into our last heat of juniors over here, and two young ladies that I think are just awfully sharp. I'm not sure who was the culprit for a line, but kiddos, it's so important that we use the entire arena because if not, then we're in this little congested cluster right there where it's really hard to have any space or really be able to analyze your animal, and it just gets too crowded. There's a couple kids in here that I know have the ability, but maybe just got a bit flustered. I think this young man, I told him, I was like, his calf's just awfully grumpy today, and it's hard to tango when your dance partner just wasn't having it for you. And so I think that kind of became your demise. But a very good group of kiddos. Let's give them a big hand.
And your final juniors that are going to be coming back from class 15. Your junior showman out of class 15 includes Autumn Dietz, Brixton Andrew, and then back tag number 110. I apologize. I do not have a name for that junior. So in the ring in our north side will be our final drive for our junior showman.
Well, another really fun group of peewees that we have out here. It's always tough to go ahead and sort through these kids. They're in the early stages of their show career, trying to build a little bit of confidence. And so you just kind of have to go with your gut on some things. Who's trying to get them set up? Who's trying to keep that head up? Make a little bit of eye contact. Just some of those very basic things that we want to see as they get older. So, an awesome, awesome group. Let's give all these kids a real big round of applause for coming out here.
We get into our first semifinals, junior exhibitors. And for starters, kids, I just want to congratulate you on making it to this moment in showmanship. There's a lot of kiddos and a lot of talented ones at that. And so that's dang sure something to be awfully proud of. I think to me, these young people just stood out as the most poised, the most confident. Young man in the cowboy hat had a rebound of the century because he barely made the cut in his heat and certainly pulled things together. And like I said, I think showmanship is just such a tough thing to go ahead and judge because it comes down to just a few personal preference things. If you liked them different, man, I certainly wouldn't argue with you. But at the end of the day, decisions have to be made. These three are my favorite. They're going to join us for our finals. Let's go ahead and give all of these kiddos a big round of applause.
So they are breaking up the juniors into two semis. So this is your second semi in the ring now, coming back in that final drive. In semi one includes Chesney Prince, Kaylee Killo, and LJ Wells. Now over to the South Ring where our Pee Wee showmanship is underway. Class number 11 coming back in that final drive will be Connor Mass, Connor Benish, and Araya Wood. This is your final class, Class 12 of Pee Wee Showman in the Ring.
Again, lots of close calls in this next heat of semifinals. I'm excited to see these three young people work in the finals here in just a moment. But an awesome group of kiddos. And like I iterated in the first semifinals, you make it to this point, man, that's something to be awfully proud of. And so congratulations. We'll go ahead and dismiss you guys from the ring. But as we do so, let's give them a big hand.
Coming back to represent semi-heat number 2 in our juniors includes Autumn Dietz, Blakely Katz, and Josie Ritter. We have one more final heat, and then we'll make the selection of your champion juniors. Over on the Pee Wee side, we're going to add out of class 11, Natalie Victor. Again, they're making the selection of class 12. Want to let folks know that are watching in the South Ring, we are going to take a pause after this class because we have some calves that are on the junior side that need to be coming back here for the Pee Wee drive as well. So we will be taking a slight pause until they get caught up on the junior side and that calf can come over from one side of the fence to the other.
Awesome group in our last heat of these Pee Wee showmen. Once again, it's tough out here as they're battling cattle that they probably haven't worked with all the time, and so they're doing a good job of keeping their spirits up. Let's give them a big round of applause as they go out the ring.
Coming back out of class 12 in our Pee Wee showmanship will be McKinley Drews, Keaton Brooks, and Clancy Kunk. Again, we're going to take a pause on the Pee Wee side because some of the calves are being used in both our Pee Wee and our juniors. Entering the ring now will be your semi-class number 3.
it out here to our final round, semifinals in our juniors. And pardon me for taking just a minute. I strategically saved, I guess, my fourth save, I guess, to bring us back to the finals for this last group because I know that those last couple classes was certainly so dense in terms of talent. I was waiting the whole time for that last spot for a couple people to go ahead and show me what they had. This young lady was so rock solid in her heat, and I just love her pose, her posture, just her confidence. Just never had that animal set up and was always too stretched. This young lady, I thought she was phenomenal in her heat as well. To me, we got out here and before we made a circle, we just weren't in line correctly that whole time. I'm not quite sure if her front end was ever set up, and I'd love to see her get her hip down. This young man really turned it on here towards the end and made it awfully difficult. Just didn't know if he was at the same level as a couple of the other people, just in terms of his posture as he maneuvers around the ring. Don't know if he's as smooth as those, but young man, you made it awfully close because you and that heifer are a great partner, and you certainly do a lot of things right. This young lady has done a great job out here. Probably just heifer's just given up on her. I say it takes two to tango. Your dance partner wasn't having it. She's probably tired because you had somebody using her over there as well. And so, not to knock you, but just couldn't put you in the heat because of that. But a great group of kiddos. Gosh dang it. If I was mamas or daddies or anybody in these guys' corner, I would just be so proud of just their natural ability and presence. Let's go give them a big round of applause as they exit the arena.
Our 10 are set. Coming back now, representing semis 3, Shaylee Hartman, Blaine Dunklow, Brecken Went, and Knox Schmidt.
Well, on our north side of the ring is Kylie is judging and placing our final junior showmanship drive. Again, huge welcome to Kylie Patterson to Nebraska. This young lady arrived here from Greensburg, Indiana. Her and her fiance live there. And again, we want to welcome her here. She's a native from San Antonio, Texas, guys. She grew up showing cattle very competitively. This young lady has been judging major livestock shows all across the nation. This is her first trip to Nebraska. We're very honored to have her here. Very honored that she can add Nebraska to the list of 38 states that she has judged. She's judged internationally in Mexico, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Thailand. So, again, a huge welcome to her. We're going to look forward to working with her this afternoon in our market show.
We're going to try to go ahead and wrap this up. I know the cattle are getting a little warm, getting a little tired, and we still have a full day of showing ahead of us. But boy, I cannot express to you enough just how impressed I am, especially with this top 10 group. You know, I think we got down to the finals here and just a few mistakes. Ended up sorting kind of big decisions here in terms of their placing. But like I said, I think you make it to this point, you got to be doing something right. And I think it's a testament to all of the hard work and dedication that goes on at home. The worst thing about showmanship is I think there is just so much personal preference that lies into that. I guarantee you we could get quite a bit of different people to go ahead and line these kiddos up differently. But regardless, I think their future is incredibly bright. To be this age and to be this sharp is truly a testament to them being raised right and just being so good in terms of their natural ability. With that being said, I'm going to show you how I like them. But before I do so, let's give these kiddos one last round of applause.
Just a quick reminder to our junior showmen, you will just take your sticks, your show sticks to the backdrop. They will have your banners awaiting you there. And you can pass off your animal to somebody and head back over there and smile with the judge. Hey, Ronette, we're going to get ready to start the Pee-wees and their final drive here shortly. We did have a few animals they're being shared between siblings. And so we're going to kick off the Pee-wees. But let's talk a little bit coming up about our market class that'll be taking place this afternoon.
Yep, we'll start at noon today, guys, and we'll start off with our market heifer and then the market steer show. Make sure you're looking on the board at the show order. If you have any changes or anything, make sure and let us know. So, a fun afternoon here at the Classic. And if you guys are looking for lunch, make sure Cactus Jack's, Cunningham's are open. Enjoy all the vendors. You guys that are on the north side of the ring, make sure and visit the booths over here. Again, they're all scattered around. The front concourse is full of some great shopping.
We're set to now get ready here for the final drive on our south side for our Pee Wee Showmen. We'll be bringing them all back in the arena. Here's your results of your juniors. Congratulations to Blaine Dunclaw will be your champion. Reserve will go to Blakely Katz. Third to LJ Wells. Fourth is to Canley Kilgore. Fifth is to Brecken Went. Sixth to Shaylee Hartman. Seventh is to Chesney Prince. Eighth to Josie Ritter. Ninth is to Autumn Dietz. And 10th to Knox Schmidt.
Let's give this group of Pee Wee showmen a big round of applause. They're doing a really good job out here. I know that obviously cattle and kids are getting tired at this point, and so I think it's pretty impressive that we've asked these little guys to come out here, and they're doing as good as they are. It's pretty impressive that our line is almost pretty straight. Everybody's kind of got their calf set up, and so like I said in one of those earlier classes, as we talk about these Pee Wee showmen, the biggest part, I guess, in my mind is them showing some potential as they grow up and become the older showmen on down the road. Things like maybe getting their feet set, getting their head up, and showing a little bit of eye contact. Those things are pretty important to basics as we go on down the road. So it's good to see those things starting in this young group. I guess I would just want to go ahead and thank Ronette for asking me to come out here and do this. Like I said, truly enjoy working with youth. Enjoy this industry a whole bunch. I grew up in it and certainly love it. And so it's always fun to come back out and share some of my thoughts with the kids. With that being said, I'll go out and I'll shake the hand of your fifth place on up to your champion. But these kids have all done a really good job. Let's give them a big hand.
Well, as our peewees are leaving the ring, guys, put your hands together. Thank Cagney for being here and working with all of your youth this morning. We're going to do a peewee parade here, so we'll get our peewee showmen out of the ring.